Manga, and more manga. I read a lot of it in my spare time, and by spare time, I mean at work. So much so that I decided to say, hey, screw it, let's see if any of these are worth your time. And with time in mind, I'm not going to waste any of yours. Let's see if this manga is for you in 10 minutes or less. A Delinquent's Life Hacks is a manga that was written and illustrated by Otsuji, self-published in their very own Twitter page, but also officially licensed and distributed by Square Enix's Manga Up label, starting on February 22nd, 2019 and ending in July 22nd, 2022. So yes, yet another one that we're doing that's officially done. The story of A Delinquent's Life Hacks follows said delinquent named Sakurai as he goes through his daily life being a scary big old delinquent, but in fact actually having a heart of gold and giving out some amazing life advice to those who don't even really ask for it. As we go on, the story goes from just being about Sakurai's love of trivia and life hacks to his love of Ume-chan, the lovable preschool teacher that he befriends, and their budding romance. Getting into the characters, and I will admit that there isn't a whole lot to get into since these characters are very simple. However, that is in no way a bad thing, and keeping it simple really does help a manga like this. For example, Sakurai himself is a great MC for this kind of manga. Not exactly a comedic MC, nor is he a pure straight man. He's just a good dude with a good head on his shoulders, and while his attitude does make for some great comedic situations, and he can also be put into those comedic situations, you never get a feeling that he's forced into those situations, or that he's out of place in those situations. It's a good balance that the manga really does hit. On the other hand, you also have his love interest, Ume. Though she's a bit more leaned into the comic sensibilities, she's still very grounded and very fun. She's also extremely adorable, and her relationship with Sakurai is diabetes-inducingly cute. Other characters like Fujisaki, a schoolgirl Sakurai befriends, and her brother as well, along with Sakurai's own brother Ryo, are all simple yet work well for a story like this, without being too overbearing or numerous in numbers. Of course, as the manga goes on, other characters do get added along the way, such as Sakurai's mother and others that Sakurai himself has helped in the past. The art in this manga is very simple, never going above what it needs to, but at the same time, as I mentioned before, sometimes simple is what you need. And this is simple. All the characters are obviously recognizable, nobody looks like an amorphous blob, and I will admit there are some points where it can still get very pretty, and even the characters can get very nicely done as you go along the course of the manga. The best part about the art is that given that it's only 89 chapters, you do see an immense improvement in the artistic ability of Otsuji, which, for my money, is a pretty big thing to say, because let's be honest, there are manga out there with 500 plus chapters who look like they're still on chapter 1 art style wise. Not exactly my only complaint with a lot of those manga, but it is something to point out. Overall, Delinquent's Life Hacks is a very easy read, and I do believe that there's a lot to be enjoyed here if you're just looking for a calm, set your butt down, read a couple of pages kind of manga. Is it the best comedy manga about a mundane main character who just does mundane things, but he looks too scary and everyone thinks he's too scary, but he's actually not that scary? I know that's very specific, but let's be honest, this concept is not exactly the most original thing out there. But at the same time, it is done very well, and it is a very cute little story that you don't feel like your time would be wasted reading. In fact, I read this within a day since it's such an easy read, and again, only 89 chapters, and each chapter being about 7 to 8 pages each. They're very quick to read, and you could binge it, you can take your time with it. It's great. Personally, I would recommend A Delinquent's Life Hacks, and I think that it's something that everyone can read without having to worry about too much time being invested in it. And again, it keeps it simple, so it's okay by me. And that is time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for checking out this video. What do you think of A Delinquent's Life Hacks? Are you reading it? Have you read it? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, I have been AJ, and I will see you for another manga in 10 minutes or less. Bye-bye.